Artsonia is a powerful tool for arts education. Not only does it keep an open line of communication between the classroom and home, but also acts as a low-key fundraiser. I teach about 350 students in each one of my two buildings. To add all of these students' information into Artsonia individually would be tedious and time-consuming. Luckily, most student information systems have the ability to export the information that you need directly into an Excel document. However, your spreadsheet might not be exported in the format needed to upload directly to the website. This is the point where a lot of art teachers might panic. But don't worry, Excel can sort and organize many types of data, including text. In this video, we will go over 3 features that are useful for manipulating and organizing text. Find and replace, which allows you to find any word or words in your spreadsheet and replace them with the click of a button. Sort, which sorts your data by any parameters that you choose. And text to columns, which splits text from one column into multiple separate columns. For a successful, smooth upload, you need to know what data is needed and the proper formatting to use. This information is found on Artsonia's website in the Teacher section. When you're creating a new teacher account, you begin by locating your school using your zip code and linking up. This allows any teacher associated with the school to upload to the students' digital portfolios as well. Once I have an account associated with my school, I log in. On the home page, there are several links. To begin, we need to click on the Import Spreadsheet link under the heading of Students. This takes me to the Import Spreadsheet window. Here, we see a small thumbnail of what our spreadsheet needs to contain to upload properly into the system. The following columns should be included: student last name, student first name, grade, class, and parent email. Although it states that the class and last name are optional, this organizational grouping allows for agile uploading of artwork down the line. Additional information is given below on what data is made public and what information is only seen by you, the art teacher, as well as the reasoning behind the inclusion of each column. The next move is to get the needed information. This is done in my district by putting a help desk request in. It is then exported and emailed to me in an Excel spreadsheet. You may be able to export this information directly from your school's information system or go about getting it in another way. When I open the document, I find that the data shared with me contains a lot of extraneous information and that it is not formatted properly. This is not a big deal and can be remedied by utilizing a few of the tools in Excel. First, I delete the columns containing the information that I do not need by right-clicking on them and selecting Delete Column. According to Artsonia, we only need the student's first and last name, their grade, classroom teacher's name, and their parent's email address. I remove the columns for student ID, contact first name, contact last name, phone, and building. Now I have to show the data in the correct format. To do this, I need to get the grade level by itself as just a number and the letter K instead of kindergarten. The grades contain 2 values, as does the word kindergarten, kindergarten being the first and full-time being the second. They are separated in both cases by 1 space. This is important to note because for the next step, I will have to add a column to accommodate the splitting of the text. Here, I only need to add an additional column. I right-click on the column following the one that I want to split. Here, I want to split column D, so I'm right-clicking on column E and selecting Insert Column. This adds a blank column for E and moves the remaining columns over 1 space. Now I click on the column that I want to split and choose Text to Columns from the toolbar. From this menu, I select Space for the delimiter because the data is separated by a space, and then click Apply. A dialog box pops up asking if I'm sure that I want to replace the data. Click Replace. After the data has been separated, I right-click on column D, which now contains the word grade and kindergarten by themselves, and delete it. It's closer than before, but there is still one issue to fix. Instead of K for kindergarten, it still says full-time. There's an easy way to fix this, and that is to do a find and replace. Under the Home tab, look for the magnifying glass on the far right of the toolbar. Choose Find and Replace in the drop-down menu. When the dialog box comes up, enter full-time in the Find space and K in the Replace with space. Click on Replace All to carry out the function. Click the X on the top right to close the dialog box. Now we need to do a similar process with the homeroom column with one small difference. The column needs to be sorted first because the data contained in it is irregular. First, highlight the entire data group by clicking and dragging from the top left to the bottom right. Then click on the Sort button in the Data tab. When the dialog box pops up, choose to sort by column containing the classroom teacher's name. For me, this is column C. Click OK. According to Artsonia, all that is needed is the classroom teacher's name. Currently, the data contains a maximum of 4 values: room, a number, Mr. or Mrs., and the name. I need to add 3 additional columns to accommodate the split this time. Right-click on the column to the right of the one we are planning on splitting and add 3 additional empty columns. Go back to the homeroom column and select it. Choose Text to Columns from the toolbar. From this menu, I select space for the delimiter again because the data is separated by a space, and then click Apply. When the dialog box pops up asking if I'm sure that I want to replace the data, click Replace. All of the teachers' names need to be in the same column. To do this, simply highlight the desired data and drag it over to the correct column. In this case, I am dragging Berkheimer from column E to column F with the other class names. I can then delete columns C, D, and E because the data contained is unnecessary. Click File and Save As and rename. Return to Artsonia and click the link to import your newly formatted spreadsheet. No matter what your data looks like when it is exported, using the tools on Excel can make a difficult task manageable. Excel has many capabilities and is not limited to numerical organization and functions. Using a combination of the 3 tools that we discussed in this video, you can manipulate any spreadsheet to fit your needs. Find and Replace lets you replace any text with the push of a button. Sorting your document will make it easier to read and find mistakes, as well as organize your data. Finally, the Text to Column tool. This little button is very useful for getting rid of unnecessary information as well as separating complicated data sets into more manageable parts.